Jessie said. Whining softly, Watts scratched at the door. Henry knocked loudly. "Mr. Watts?" he called. "Are you in there?" When no one answered, Benny put his ear to the door.
"There's someone in there,"
he whispered.
"I can hear something."
The door opened a crack. Andy Watts peeked out. "Oh, children," he said. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you." He yawned. I was napping." "We're looking for Hildy," Henry told him. "Have you seen her?" No, can't say that I have," he answered. A muffled thump sounded from inside. Mr. Watts cleared his throat loudly and began coughing. I can't talk to you right now," Andy said. "You run along and I'll see you later." He closed the door, but not before they heard someone yell, "Help! Help! Help me!" "That's Hildy's voice," Jessie said. Henry knocked furiously. "Mr. Watts! What's the matter? What's going on in there?" Henry started away from the cabin. "Come on," he said. "We'll get the ranger." Just then they heard a car approaching.
"It's coming from over there."
Benny ran toward a thick stand of trees. He dashed through them, the others close at his heels. Beyond was a dirt road. The children waved frantically at the oncoming truck. It pulled up beside them and stopped. Doris hopped out. "What's the matter?" she asked.
"Hildy!"
the children said at once. "She's locked in Andy's cabin." Doris leaped out of the truck. They all ran back the way they'd come. Doris pounded on the cabin door. "Andy Watts, come out here this instant," she demanded, "or we're going to break this door down." The door flew open. All right, Andy said. He came outside, trembling. Doris dashed into the cabin. The children waited at the door. Andy Watts paced back and forth. Oh my, he kept mumbling to himself. Finally, Doris came out with Hildy at her side. Hildy looked furious. "Now, Andy Watts, let's hear your explanation for all of this," Doris demanded. Chapter 16. The Confession. Andy took a deep breath. I didn't mean any harm," he said. "I just wanted to give them a taste of their own medicine." "Who are you talking about?" Doris snapped impatiently. "Those awful campers," Andy said. "The litter everywhere. They don't care about the forest. They just come here to make noise and mess things up." "He stole a lantern from the Aldens," Hildy piped up. "But our lantern is in your cabin," Henry said. "Mine's broken," Hildy explained. "There's no electricity in my cabin. Without a lantern, it gets awfully dark. Andy gave me one to use. When I saw your name on it, I began to wonder how he got it." "So you came over here to question him?" Doris asked. "I did," Hildy answered. "But when I started asking questions, Andy pushed me into the bathroom and locked the door. I knew then that he was the guilty party." "When did you take the lantern?" Henry asked. "It was there in the morning, and later it was missing. But grandfather was at the camp the whole time." Andy Watts shrugged. "I just waited until he fell asleep. Then I sneaked over and took it. I figured without a lantern, you'd go home." "You played the loud music, too?" Violet asked. Yes, Andy said. "For years, I've had to listen to it. Loud music, loud voices, any time of the night. The forest is a quiet place. People should respect that. I just wanted to let people know how it sounded. But I never meant to cause Mr. Alden's accident. That made me feel real bad." "And the lights?" Jessie asked. "Why did you do that?" "To scare people away," Andy explained. "That's why I took the food. People get edgy when strange things like that happen. It worked, too. Word got around campers had been staying away.
But how could you take our food when we were right there?
Jessie asked. You were difficult, Andy admitted. I dropped the honey when I heard someone rustling around in the tent,
That was me.
Violet said.
I thought I heard something. I came out to look.
I just got away in time, Andy said. And in the morning when I took the stew,
I saw you.
Jessie interrupted. She turned to Henry.
Remember, Henry? Watch woke me up, and then I saw something moving in the mist.
I was sure you'd catch me that time, Andy said.
And the arrows? Did you do that too?
Benny asked. That's the first thing I did. Turn the wooden arrow that pointed to the ranger station in a different direction. A few people got so confused they left. But most people figured it out, Andy said.
I mean, the arrow in the maple tree.
Benny persisted. Yes, Andy admitted. I did that too. When I returned from your campsite, you children were at my cabin.
That was the morning we found Grandfather in the ravine,
Henry said, putting the pieces together. I only meant to scare you. Nothing more, Andy said. You know, you weren't the first to complain about strange things happening, Hildy said to the Aldens. I never believed it. Well, it was nonsense. Imagine my surprise when I realized the lantern was yours. And then to find out that Andy Watts, of all people, was causing so much trouble. She wanted to tell the authorities what I'd done, Andy said. I couldn't let her do that, could I? They'd put me in jail. And that's why you locked her in your bathroom, Doris concluded. I would have let her out, Andy said. I decided to pack up, get out of here. Go someplace where no one could find me. I would have let her out when I was ready to go. He looked from one to the other. His eyes were sad. I didn't mean any harm, he said. Please, believe me. Mean it or not, Andy Watts, you did cause harm, Doris said. You ruined people's camping trips and the park's reputation. Something has to be done about it. Oh, I know, Andy said. It was foolish of me to think of running away. I knew that even while I was packing to go. This is my home. I'd never be happy anywhere else, especially after what I've done. He sighed deeply. I'll go turn myself in to the ranger. Chapter 17. A problem solved. The next night, Doris and Hildy joined the Aldens around the campfire. It's hard to believe that Andy Watts caused so much trouble, Doris said. I think I understand what he did, Hildy said. I felt the same way about some campers. So many of them just don't appreciate the beauty around them. The children stared at her. She seemed an entirely different person than she was before. She smiled at them. Are you having trouble believing old Hildy likes nature?
We didn't think you liked anything.
Benny said. Now, Benny, mind your manners, Grandfather warned. But he said it lightly, and Benny knew he was amused. Hush, James Henry, Hildy said. I deserve that. I wasn't very nice to your grandchildren, or to anybody for that matter, but I've learned my lesson. These children taught me. Independence is important, but so is knowing people care. You know, Hildy, Doris said, for a while I was afraid you were the one causing all the trouble. Hildy chuckled. My own sister, she teased. You should have known better. My way of dealing with the campers was to ignore them, keep my distance. Well, things will be different now, Grandfather said. They sure will be, Doris said. Andy did a good thing by turning himself in. Things things went easier for him because of it.
I hope they aren't going to put him in jail,
Benny said.
he might have done bad things, but he's a good man.
That's exactly what the ranger said, Doris told him. He came up with a plan to have Andy educate and help campers. It'll accomplish a lot more than a jail sentence would.
What exactly will he teach the campers?
Violet asked. He knows all about the forest, Doris answered. He'll take people on nature hikes and teach new campers about safety procedures and anything else they might want to know.
I hope he teaches them about neatness.
Benny piped up.
This place was a mess when we got here.
I wish we could help, Jessie said. You already have, Doris reminded her. You solved the mystery. Now, campers won't be afraid to come here.
But we'd like to do more,
Violet said. Maybe we can, Grandfather said. Andy mentioned the need for more trees to keep the soil from eroding. I'll donate some. We could come weekends and help plant them, Henry suggested. That's a fine idea, Henry, Grandfather said. I'm sure the ranger would approve.
And the park needs more garbage cans, Jessie said. That would help people to be neater.
Mr. Alden nodded. We'll get those too.
Maybe we could set up a recycling center with different bins for bottles and cans, Henry said.
I'll talk to the county officials, Doris offered. They have special trucks to collect recyclable material.
I have another idea,
Benny said.
Something we can do right now to help some campers.
They all looked at him.
Roast marshmallows and have some more s'mores,
he said. They all laughed. Now that's what I call an excellent idea, Grandfather said. And everyone agreed. We hope you've enjoyed The Camp Out Mystery, an Oasis audio production, directed and engineered by Adam Hassel. Text copyright 1992 by Robert Whitman and Company. Production copyright 2014 by Oasis Audio, under arrangement with Albert Whitman and Company. Oasis audio titles are available wherever audiobooks are sold, and on our website, oasisaudio.com.
Thank you.
Do you want to turn it off so I don't poof up your Matthew?
Yeah.
Want to turn it off so I don't poof up your.
Chapter
We're gonna go get
17.
the dog.
A problem
Okay.
solved.
He's been outside a long time.
The next no.
Okay, who solved the mystery?
They did.
Yeah, the kids did.
Yeah.
And who was the guy who was taking everything?
I forgot his name.
Mr. Watt?
Yeah.
Okay.
I chicken. I want
He
to
thought
kill you.
other campers were not being very appreciative of the nature center. Okay, we gotta do some math and then we got that done. We can take a break though. You wanna go outside for a while?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Oh, well, you go to the bathroom. And I'll get the dog. Everybody needs to go to the bathroom.
Cleaning the books. I'm Steve. I know I'm stupid. okay?
No, Kramer doesn't feel real good today. Between my back and my allergies, I pedal the case.
Hmm. Where have I heard this song? This. What?
Careful when you get up, you'll step on the dog. He's decided to come sit right at your feet.
Okay. have a weird cow.
Mm.
Call this a cow? What are people calling a cow?
I don't know.
I built a perfect cow. I got everybody said amazing. And what are wrong with these people? Huh? Yay, I got first place because I was the only one that really did anything.
Mm.
Fail.